Welcome back. The next concept we're going to study is called the Gleicher Formula for change. But first, let me share a little story with you. It seems there were these two friends in rocking chairs on the front porch of a house in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. And laying in between them was the old blue-tick coon dog named Bo. Joe was Bo's master and lived in the house, and his friend Larry had come over to see him. Well, Larry and Joe were just kind of rocking and doing a little whittling, and occasionally they would talk, and all of a sudden, Bo, the blue-tick coon dog, laying in between them, just lifts his head and gives a howl. Well, Larry kind of looks down at Bo and wonders what is going on, but Joe just keeps rocking. And next thing you know, Bo lifts his head again, and just the saddest old howl comes out of his mouth as he goes, oh! Well, after this happens about 4 times, Larry's curiosity just gets the best of him. And he looks over at Joe and says, Joe, what's wrong with Bo? He said, well, nothing's wrong with Bo. He said, well, then why is he crying out and howling like that so many times? Joe looks down at Bo and says, oh, Bo's just laying on that old rusty nail in the porch. And Larry says, well, why doesn't he get up? And Joe says, well, I guess it doesn't hurt him that much. See, interestingly, we at times have discomforts in our life, but it doesn't hurt that much to move on. And this is explained through David Gleicher's formula for change. Now, the formula looks like this. C equals A times B times D is greater than X. Now, what that stands for is C stands for change. So it says change will occur when A stands for dissatisfaction with the current reality, B stands for a clarity of the future state or the desired future state, D stands for the practical first steps towards the future state, the desired future state, and X stands for our personal cost to change. Now, this formula was used to describe how to overcome the resistance to change in organizations. See, if people within the organization didn't understand the vision of leadership and that factor of a B was low, the likelihood of them following the leadership was very, very low. Similarly, if it looked like leadership was taking them in this direction, but the first step took them in this direction, it created a question in people's minds, and so they wouldn't follow that leadership. It created strong resistance. Lastly, if people weren't dissatisfied with the current reality, no matter how clear the vision, no matter how aligned the practical first steps, there was a low likelihood of moving forward. Well, let's put this back into our current reality. So our personal change will occur when our dissatisfaction with the current reality. Now, if you're really not dissatisfied with where you're at, if there's not enough tension between where you're at and where you desire to get, then it's tough, because change does cost something. That's the X factor. We're going to have to either put mental energy or physical energy or financial energy into a solution to move us forward. And also, there's our time that we invest. So the first thing is there has to be a level of dissatisfaction with where we're at today. Next, clarity of the future state. Another way of saying that is, do you have a written vision statement? We're going to talk about that. It is where you want to get clear enough to you that you could tell somebody about it in very specific terms. Next, practical first step. I define that as my first goal towards my big dream or my vision. And again, it needs to be in the direction. So, if one of the things that I wanted to do was at one point become a plant manager by the age 35, then a step in that direction would be being a very effective team manager and delivering results from there. Another step would be I'd probably have to relocate to a different plant, maybe even go from a non-union plant and work in a union plant to understand the nuances and the differences. All of those actions, all those steps, all those goals moved me towards the opportunity to make my goal of becoming a plant manager by age 35. So we've talked about dissatisfaction with the current reality. We've talked about making sure our dreams are clear and specific. We've talked about having goals that are aligned with those dreams. Only you can define the X factor, the cost it takes, and to do it in a fashion such that you recognize it's a great investment. So what's the exercise for this section? Well, one of the things I would recommend that you do is make out a list of the current dissatisfiers you feel in your life. After you make out the list, then go through there and rank them. A, that's a big dissatisfier. B, that's a moderate. C, that's a small dissatisfier, a nuisance. The nail in the porch that doesn't hurt that much. Next, we're going to go back through that list of dissatisfiers. And you're going to categorize them as ones, twos, or threes. Ones doesn't take a lot of effort or energy. It's easy to make this change. Two, it's a moderate amount of effort or energy to make this change. And three, it takes a lot of effort and energy to make this change. So at this point, you'll have each of your dissatisfiers listed. Each will be ranked, it's either a big dissatisfier, a medium dissatisfier, or a little dissatisfier. And then we'll also go back through the list again, and you'll rank them as, this is easy to make a change, this is moderate to make a change, or this is hard to make a change. So for instance, for a nuisance that's hard to change, that would be a C3. Whereas something that's really impactful, really important for your journey, and easy to do, that'd be an A1. So we'll have all of our dissatisfiers listed and identified, and then categorized using the system ABC 1, 2, 3. Thanks. Hope you enjoy the exercise and get some insights, and we'll see you in the next section.